Welcome to the first lecture of Digital Signal Processors and Architectures. So today we'll start with what is actually meant by a signal. So as we already have an idea what is basically a signal, so which basically represents the flow of information. And we also know that basically a signal varies with respect to the time. And for our analysis or processing calculations, whenever we receive an electrical signal from a transducer, a physical signal, basically we try to convert it into an electrical signal using a transducer. Then we do actually the remaining processing. And we know that all the real-time signals available in the nature are continuous time signals like voltage, current, temperature, speed, etc. But whenever we want to do the processing in digital domain, we need to convert this continuous time signal into discrete time signal. So discrete time signals, some of the existing discrete time signals, like for example, are the minimum temperature, what is that, maximum temperature. That is at a particular point of time, we are asking irrespective of at every instant of time. So having seen the introduction regarding the signal, let's move to the next one, which is about the signal processing. Like why actually we need the signal processing. So we need to do so many calculations or so many types of analysis which we are interested because of the signal. So like we need to amplify the signal, or I want to filter a particular portion of the signal depending on the frequency, or I want to detect what are the particular patterns present in the signal. Sometimes even we need to see how a signal will survive a transmission channel depending on the noise present in the channel, etc. So to do all these various operations which we are interested in understanding the behavior of the signal, there comes into picture the signal processing. So having seen the signal and signal processing, if we see this, when you do all these signal processing for the digital signals, that is where actually we talk about the digital signal processing. So digital signal processing, it has various applications, in various areas, like you can see here: communication systems, consumer electronics, security, engineering, medical diagnostic, etc. There are so many applications for the digital signal processing. So what is basically a digital signal processing? So to talk it, or to say it in a very simple manner, it basically talks about mathematical operations on the signals in digital domain. So whatever the different types of operations we want to do on signal which are in the digital domain, that is called as basically a digital signal processing. So this is what we've discussed. As all the real-time signals are analog in nature, the first thing we do is convert an analog signal into a digital signal. You do the processing in digital domain. Then at the receiver, again, you have to convert your digital signal back to the analog signal. So that's why we need a ADC at the transmitter side or input side, and same thing, we need a DAC, digital to analog converter, at the output end or the receiver side. So there are various examples of digital signal processing. So if we talk about those, some of the advantages, if you see here, as we are doing the entire processing in the digital domain, noise we are able to avoid. So that's why noise is easy to control here, and you have a very good linear signal and complex algorithms you are able to fit into the single chip. Flexibility and parameters can be easily varied in software as you are dealing with the digital signal. And also whatever the tolerance, environmental conditions, electromagnetic interference, all these have very little effect or impact on our digital processing when you compare it with the analog processing. So when we see a simple block diagram of a DSP system, we basically discussed just now about you need an ADC at the input side and you need a DAC at the output side. In between, we do all the processing using digital signal processing. In addition to these three blocks, we are seeing one more filter called as anti-aliasing filter at the transmitter. Anti-aliasing filter is the one which basically limits what should be the frequency of your input signal, whether it should be less than or equal to half your sampling frequency, so that you will be able to avoid an effect called aliasing. Whereas at the receiver, we basically have something called as reconstruction filter. This is actually a reconstruction filter. This reconstruction filter will try to reconstruct our signal because the output of DAC will be in the format of a staircase. When you smoothen the staircase signal, we will get the particular input signal, whatever we have given here at the input side, the continuous time signal. We are going to get it at this output of reconstruction filter. So these are again the same thing which we have seen, like a digital signal processor basically finds applications in so many areas like audio, communications, image manipulation, data acquisition, and data control applications. So to perform actual digital signal processing, the first thing we need to do is convert an analog signal into a digital signal. See, that involves basically two steps. First, analog signal should be converted into discrete, then discrete should be converted into digital. So the first task of converting an analog signal into discrete signal is done by using a process called sampling. So the sampling process, first we have to set the sampling frequency either greater than or equal to 2 FM, whereas we already know actually that Fs is a sampling frequency and FM is the maximum frequency component in the message signal. This basically avoids the aliasing, which we also call as 2 FM, we call it as a Nyquist rate. So whenever sampling is performed at a rate of less than 2 FM, then it gives rise to aliasing effect. So to avoid aliasing, we have to choose this. Then only we will be able to reconstruct the signal properly at the receiver. So sampling basically helps us in converting an analog signal into a discrete time signal. So when we talk about the signals, how do you represent them graphically? You can see here that this is a time signal, continuous time signal, which we are considering as an input signal. And when you do the sampling of this is the sampling, this is the output of the sampling process. Like we can see here, we have a sample over here. This is our second sample, and whatever the value we are seeing here, this indicates the amplitude of our signal. Like at 0.2, we have an amplitude of 0.193. So same thing we can see here. And again, we have the next sample at 0.3. With respect to time, we are doing this. So if you talk about a data signal, so depending on the width of the pulse, whatever we are choosing, this is how a sample data signal will look like. So once we get the sampled data signal, the next thing we are getting is a quantized signal. So initially I told that like converting an analog signal into digital signal involves two steps. First analog to discrete, then from discrete to digital. So converting the discrete signal to digital is basically called as a process of quantization. So this is how a quantized signal looks like. What quantization will do is, it basically rounds off the amplitude values to the nearest voltage levels. Like if you observe in the previous one, we have an amplitude value of 0.193. So the quantization process will round off that 0.193 to 0.2. Similarly, it does the same thing for the remaining samples. This is called as a quantized signal, or we also call it as a digital signal because all these levels can be easily assigned to a unique binary level so that it becomes a digital signal. So same thing, if you talk about the output of a DAC, digital to analog converter, which is present at the output side of a DSP system. So when you see this gives rise to a staircase waveform. So this is the output of a DAC. After DAC, the last block we had in the DSP system is a reconstruction filter. Reconstruction filter basically smoothens this staircase waveform and produces a smoothened version, which is nothing but the continuous time signal. So this is how we basically convert, or you do the processing of a digital signal using digital signal processor. So we'll continue in the next lecture. Thank you.